Roll Tide, Richard. It's great to see you. What have you thought of the first month of the season we've seen for Alabama so far?
Well, Roll Tide, it's been a lot of really good basketball from both teams, the men and women's side. As you've been able to see, Alabama men's coming off a big-time tournament finish out there at the Field Night Invitational, upset win over the #1 team in the nation, North Carolina. And the women's side has really seemed to be hitting their stride. It's a really fun time for Alabama basketball right now.
It'll be Alabama men's basketball at home against South Dakota State in a matchup that you and I will get to call on the SEC Network Plus. And we also called this matchup last year. The Jackrabbits and the Crimson Tide get to meet once again this season. And we're looking forward to seeing Nate Oates' team once again after what a weekend they put together in Portland.
Yeah, they did a great job. A 4 overtime game. They must be exhausted and must be thrilled to get a few days off and break to get a chance to come back to Tuscaloosa. But they'll be playing a tough South Dakota State team, well coached, but they'll have the benefit of the doubt. They'll be coming off a back-to-back coming into Tuscaloosa, so Alabama will have to make sure they're rested to take advantage of that.
And for the Crimson Tide, started that tournament in Portland with a strong win against Michigan State, and then the next day in a back-to-back situation fell to a very good UConn team that's currently undefeated, won the Phil Knight Invitational. Turnovers seemed to hurt Alabama in that ball game, but it seemed like, Richard, they were able to clean that up against North Carolina.
They were able to take a day off and come back and regroup. When you're playing, Michigan State team led by Hall of Famer coach and Tom Izzo, and then you come back the next night with historically one of the better programs in the last 25 years in UConn, and then come back after a day off to play North Carolina, the defending ACC tournament champ, and made a Final Four run last year. This is a very tough challenge for Alabama. So to come out with 2 wins and 1 loss in that tournament, to play the way they did, to win some games in very impressive fashion, I think they have to be pleased where the squad is trending, and to get Javon Quinterly back in action, starting to hit form, they have to be pleased in the direction they're going.
Charles Bediako, a double-double against North Carolina, logging the most minutes he's ever played. What'd you see from his play, especially in overtime, being so physical when Alabama needed it?
Well, I'm a big man, so I love to see that. I love to see Charles Bediako starting to go down low, making some big-time plays for Alabama when they needed him most. His aggressiveness rolling to the basket last game, finishing with a clutch alley-oop finish to give Alabama a lead. And you're starting to see him take the stride that the team is going to need from him to be able to get to the next level. The interior presence on the defensive end, stepping up with a huge block shot late in the clutch. You can see his ability on display. This is a talented Alabama team, but he's the veteran presence. And if he can continue to have that type of form where he's aggressive on the rebounding, offensively, defensively, also just trying to dominate defensively with blocking shots on the boards, with all of the talent around him. As I said before, he's the key piece to really making this team get further and further.
What did you see from freshman Brandon Miller, his first time on a big national stage over those 3 games?
Well, I think not only did he impress me, but I think he impressed everyone. I mean, I've gone out and said it, Brandon Miller is one of the most impressive and talented freshmen that Alabama has ever really had. He's shown a lot of on-court versatility with his size and length, 6'8", 6'9". He can dribble the ball up and down the court. He can run pick and roll. He's one of the leading rebounders on the team. He's defensively, he's versatile. He showed some post-up action in the last recent games, hitting mid-range jumpers. I mean, the sky is the limit for this kid. If he continues to trend in the direction he can, then he's going to have a bright future, and Alabama fans should be thrilled that they get a joy to watch this.
So a really good start for the Crimson Tide in November. Now we're gearing up for this month of December that starts with Saturday's game against South Dakota State. And then after that, Houston, Memphis, Gonzaga. There's some huge matchups on the horizon. Just what do you want to see from this Crimson Tide team coming up through the next month?
Consistency. What you want to see is you want to see the team continue to grow within their offense and grow within their defense. They hit strides where they're playing really good basketball and trying to determine and find an identity within themselves. But I think they are trending in the right direction. But the challenge won't get any easier. Head coach Nate Oates always puts together a tough non-conference slate. They'll continue to have some tough challenges moving forward, but it will only make the team much more better.
Richard, thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck on the broadcast coming up on Saturday for Alabama women's and men's basketball. Look forward to seeing you and also back here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network once again soon. But thank you so much. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.